What's up everyone, it's Roger here from DisKingdom.com. It's Sunday, it's time for the Sunday recap show. So in this episode, I'm going to be looking back at the previous week we've had, looking at your comments that we've had through Twitter and on YouTube and also on Facebook and on the website itself, DisKingdom.com. Giving you a little bit of a channel update and just in general, just kind of having a little bit of an informal community session with you guys this morning, because generally on Sundays it's a bit of a quieter news day and it's a good time to kind of go back and look at the week that's been. So there's been some great news this week. Kind of the biggest story of the week for us on the website was that Marvel Heroes 2016, the PC game, is getting a massive overhaul in the coming weeks, and so they're going to be adding all new graphics, going to be adding, basically making the game a little bit tighter, making it more simpler. Now there has been a lot of comments actually coming through on sort of through Twitter and etc. about the game actually being hopefully, if it's a little bit more simpler, whether or not it would come to consoles. I was actually going to bring up a couple of tweets here that came in earlier this week, which really kind of showed off exactly what I was thinking as well. Was Terrence Johnson asked, "This is so awesome. I hope this is leading to a console release. I'm already playing on the Xbox controller." That's what I do as well. I use the Xbox controller rather than using the PC. And also, Joshua said, "Too bad this huge doesn't include a port to the consoles itself." And William put, "Hope the mention of the Xbox doesn't exclude the PS4." Now, I did put in my initial story that it was going to be that I would like to see it on the Xbox One. Now, well, that's the only literally I forgot to put the PlayStation 4, which is generally my preferred console anyway. It's mainly just because I tend to play it with the Xbox controller, so therefore that was the first thing that came to mind. And also, when you're playing the game, you have the little buttons and stuff in line with the actual controller, which is say press Y and B and stuff. So it looks like they've got a lot of the coding already in there. So fingers crossed, maybe next year when all this comes through, we could eventually see it. Because I'm going to be honest, if it comes to console, I'll play it a lot more. I don't like playing too much stuff on my PC. First off, I've got a massive, great big crack in the corner, so therefore it makes it a bit hard to see in one corner. Now I could buy a new laptop, but I literally I had only had the laptop for 3 weeks until I somehow managed to crack the screen. But that's a whole other story. I've had laptops for 20 odd years and never had that problem. But let's say this laptop is not going to be a long-term one for me. So like I said, that was kind of the most popular story. Other popular stories from the week included a new book. I think it was like a Dream It, Smash It, which was, let me just have a look here and see what the book was called again. That was really popular. That one looks like that should be a bit more fun. I've got a review copy to be reading, so I'll be going through that on there. I've got quite a few books. Going on vacation soon, so I've actually got about 6 or 7 books to read. So my plan is to try and do reviews for all of them, because I'm going to be basically using my vacation to sit down, catch up on all my reading for the I've got the new Black Widow novel. I've got a couple of Star Wars novels from earlier in the year. I've got a couple of Disney history books. The new Jim Corder's got a couple of his books. I literally like, when I'm on holiday, I like to just sit on that beach, read some books, and also just try and catch up with sort of all the books that have maybe come out since my last vacation, and just kind of, I just like to use the time to kind of catch up and just relax. And I do find reading like Marvel and Star Wars novels and stuff, because generally during the normal time, I don't get time to sort of sit down and read a book. I'd much rather sit there and play a video game for a couple of hours, I'm going to be honest, rather than sitting there reading a book. So when I'm sat on holiday, that's kind of a good time for doing it. Now, speaking of holiday, obviously in a couple of weeks' time, there will be no news videos because I'm going to be away, and my upload speeds and stuff, I'm not taking my laptop, so there's going to be lots of gameplay videos. I've been busy recording over the past couple of weeks, making sure there's at least one gameplay video every single day. But also, you probably might have noticed there's a little bit more gameplay footage going up on the website. I'm doing it again. I sit down pretty much every night and play video games anyway, so it makes sense for me to record up some bits and pieces. So at the minute, you've got, over the next few weeks, you've got Castle of Illusion and also Avengers. So it's Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. There'll be some gameplay videos going up for that one there. And as per usual, playing some Kingdom Hearts. I was playing that last night and recording it, so that's going to be a continuous thing because I've got so much Kingdom Hearts stuff to be playing through, so I'll be enjoying that one. And I also started up Amazing Spider-Man 2 once I finished Castle of Illusion and Avengers Alliance 2. Ultimate Alliance 2. So you're going to see a little bit more of that. You've got the new Battlefront game coming on Tuesday, the new expansion packs, so there'll be a little bit more Battlefront things. once I finish with Amazing Spider-Man 2, I'm going to be hitting up Force Unleashed 2, which I got on my Xbox. My kind of aim is to kind of do a little bit more of this kind of content of doing at least one gaming video a day, and then if there's anything new that comes up, like a new app or something, I'll be throwing that in, probably as a bonus, but I'll be trying to play through some games, and once I've gone through one game, I'll then jump onto another one. It's just trying to have a little bit of fun playing the games, and therefore sharing that with you guys. So you see a little bit more gameplay, trying to post that one at least once a night, but I can tend to back them up a little bit more in long run. But yeah, I am looking forward to seeing Star Wars Battlefront. It's going to have some nice ones, but I've got such a backlog of games, and also I keep buying retro games as well for the Thursday, Throwback Thursday videos. Just picked up a few last week. I was in a great little store where I picked them up, and yeah, I just buy a lot of retro games pretty much every other week. I'll pick a couple up when I'm out, so I see a lot of that. I've got literally like a box in the spare room, literally just like must have like 50-60 Disney games in there at the minute, and they just keep growing. I've got them on a number of different devices and stuff, PlayStation 2, Super Nintendo, Mega Drive, Genesis. I've got tons and tons of games, and PlayStation 3, Xbox, etc. So you are going to see plenty of video game stuff on there. On that same note, a bit of a channel update. This is kind of the time for me when things tend to slow down. Things will it's the end of the summer. My work tends to be very summer orientated, so as I go into the winter I have a little bit more time, and usually around my holiday time I usually would take that as a stock to kind of stop and think about it. The last year I decided to, while I was away, was kind of do this like the daily video and do the daily kind of update, and so I've been doing it for about a year now. I have decided this week that you might have noticed some changes on how I do it. I'm actually going to go back to how I was doing it a little bit before the daily update, and the idea is I'll have more videos but smaller ones. So there'll be a single story, just news updates. Whether or not I'm on camera or just doing audio will depend on how much I'm talking about it. If it's like a minute video, I'll probably just do audio. If it's kind of a big subject, I'll be doing just like video like this. So you will see more videos on the channel, because you'll see just lots of independent ones. Also means that if I am at work, I can just record it quickly and get it out on there rather than having to wait till the next day. The trouble is with the daily video was that it is kind of very, very time consuming. Filming it, editing it, uploading it, and then publishing it to other things wasn't it. For the amount of, it was working very well on the audio version, so I'm trying to work out the best way of doing the audio versions, whether or not I might corrugate all, or put them all together over the week and edit them down and just put out one podcast version with all the news from the week that way, or I might break it down into 2 bits. I'm not entirely too sure of how I'm going to do that on there. I'm going to continue to do the Sunday show will be up for you guys. So I'm just at that time, it's the time of the year for me when I will tend to sit down, look at analytics, look at how things are going, what's been going on, because over the summer I just tend to try and get in a run and just keep going. So now it's the time of sitting down looking at it. The channel, as far as I'm concerned, the daily videos, they've not been kind of increasing in terms of viewership on any of the platforms, because I publish them on a few different ones. So my plan is to go back to doing individual stories. They can then be posted inside of the video. So yeah, it's kind of going to be doing a little bit of a difference. So you're still going to have lots of news content from me. I'm not stopping that. I just might be changing the way of how I give that format to you, because the daily video, while I like being able to talk about some of the smaller things sometimes that maybe wouldn't necessarily would have got a single video, but at the same time, the way that YouTube and Facebook seems to work is they seem to like having a daily video. I mean, even the people that do like the daily fixes, like IGN and GameStop, they also tend to do the single videos as well. So I'm going to kind of go back to how I started, because when I was looking at how all the videos have sort of done over the last year, none of them have really kind of broke away. Where all the individual ones tended to break if they were. If you were interested in that one subject, it tended to grab a little bit more attention, and also just making a little bit easier, spending less time editing and processing and uploading. Generally just means I can be doing more stuff on the website, adding more stories and things like that. So there is going to be some changes. That will start. I mean, I did a couple of experiments this week, which kind of proved of what I was expecting. Things like the Moana merchandise at the beginning of the week, which that all looks really cool. There's some really cool looking Mario ones. The trailer, I kind of wish I'd done that one there. I kind of did a couple of separate solos, then did a couple of joint ones just to see in that, to kind of almost like a last ditch going, right, is this, and then it proved the point of what I was aiming for. So that is going to be a channel update going forward, which will be coming in from as this week. And like I said, I'm going to work out the audio version. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. It's one of those really weird things of you know, I obviously want to do the best things to get the most people to see them. I like doing the daily one, but unfortunately the format just doesn't seem to work. I'd love to do it live. I would, in all honesty, I'd love to just do a bit like Comic Book Now, where they just did it live, but bar me doing it at work, and that's not so great because I haven't got the microphone or the camera or anything like that there, where I've got high-speed broadband. Doing it at home is not going to work for me with my broadband things. So that's that one. You might have noticed as well with the Infinity and Beyond podcast, we've been testing around some different software the last couple of weeks because, again, we were having... the internet in my town is very up and down sometimes, so therefore we're trying a different format of recording it, which I think has worked, especially over the next couple of weeks. You'll see a little bit better episodes. The last couple of the recording, you know, until you do the settings, sometimes you don't know. But that's kind of a bit of a channel update. Like I said, the Infinity and Beyond podcast, where me and James are talking about all the weekly video game series, that ain't going anywhere. The news is still going to be coming to you multiple times a day, but just breaking down into smaller chunks. And also the gameplays, you'll see a lot more gameplay videos. I had been planning, obviously, like, you got Battlefront this month, so we're going to play a bit more of that. Any of the new updates of the piece of any of the games that are coming in. I've had like Enchanted Tales, but I'm going to be honest, I haven't really caught my attention too much. I'm still playing Disney Magic Kingdoms, and Enchanted Tales is a little bit too similar to that for me. And then I'd hoped for Kingdom Hearts, but that one there got pushed back to January. So that one where I was expecting to play that in December, that has been pushed back to January, the end of there. So probably pretty much I expect most of February and March I will be just playing Kingdom Hearts 2.8. I am really excited this week. I'm actually heading up to the EGX show in Birmingham, and I plan on basically the minute I get in the door, I'm going straight to the Square Enix store place to go and play the new 2.8 game. So that's what I'm really excited about. Also got a VR unit booked, and hopefully as well check out some other games, Lego Dimensions, maybe WWE, and Sonic Mania. Those are kind of the ones I'm mainly going to look at. But there we go. So let's jump into some of your comments. So let's have a look here. Let's have a look here first off on I'm looking here on the website. So Felix responded to the actual thing about Daredevil Zum Zum. So he said he hopes he sees a Hellcat Zum Zum, which kind of actually clicked onto another story, another one from another tweet that came through that was very much similar kind of line, really. Actually, I think it was Felix as well. Actually, he's the same one. He said ever since Electro was released, he was wondering if we might see more Netflix characters. Now I say it is, especially with the Defenders next year. Yeah, I think it actually is. I think we've got a much better chance of seeing some of these Zum Zums now with this one here. Other comments coming through on the actual website itself. About Sherry was on the but she can't see the Windows version of Pirates of the Caribbean of the new Disney Magic Kingdoms app. I think sometimes the Windows version doesn't get updated quite as quickly as well. Let's see what else we've got here. Let's see here. Michelle asked, will I need a PlayStation 4 Pro to play Spider-Man PS4? That's a stupid question, but I didn't quite understand. No, you don't need a PlayStation 4 Pro. That's just that it will look a bit more classic. Ted said he loved the look of the classic Spider-Man. These are the Spider-Man Vinylmation series. They look too. Aaron was talking about Walt Disney World are introducing children scanning fingerprints upon entry, and while it's not actually, this might be like, how does this help? It's not necessarily to stop for the kids. It's more about linking either to an adult or a kid. Because what was happening, I think, was parents might be buying one children's pass, and because there was no no ID, maybe multiple children were using the same pass, or maybe even an adult was using that pass to get in and out. Because you know, you could get in if you had a children's pass with no one, you could get in and out a little bit easier. I mean, generally, I think the idea is that if it's got a fun pass on it, it would mean that you'd be able to, they can kind of slightly stop it for having too many people going for it. That would be my guess. It's primarily due to not necessarily to stopping the kid getting in. It's more about just trying to stop it being abused. Taylor said, amazing, would pay $50 for that if someone could make a high quality look. The best shirt I've ever seen. That was the Space Mountain administration t-shirt, so they came out a while ago. Someone asked if they could buy the Simba Zum Zum, which isn't out yet. But there we go. That's kind of that on there. Let's now jump over to YouTube. So Naeem said that Peggy clone, which was the comment regarding Frozen Freefall Icy Shot. This is exactly what James had said. James had said on a previous Infinity and Beyond podcast that Icy Shot was a Peggy clone. Now, I'm gonna be, I've not played Peggy. I'd never really heard about it till then, so it does seem a little bit of a clone. Doesn't surprise me. This is what seems to be happening with a lot of mobile games, is just repeating stuff. But then that game is not nothing new itself. It's, you know, that game's been around different games have been around like that for a while. Kid Dude, hope Marvel gets in. That was due to Lego Dimensions. I hope it does as well. I can't see it coming in because of the problems with DC. Evan, he watched my Frozen Freefall, which would have been Frozen Freefall 2 because it was kind of an older video. He said, laughing my ass off, that Christoph dude. Unless you intentionally made that pun so only internet fans would understand, what would Olaf's failure to get his name right in case it was genius? Now, to be honest, it was probably just when I was filming the video, it was a slip of the tongue. I didn't give it that much thought. Sometimes when a character comes on, when you're recording, your brain doesn't fully engage. And so while you could be, retake it. Sometimes it's just you roll with it. I didn't probably even notice that I did it, and you picked up on it. So, but yeah, no, I did purposely decide to do that on purpose. Okay, so let's have a look, see what else. Andy, he asked how old Mary was in Disney's Moana, of which Luke answered thousands of years old. And then Andy went, wow, he must literally be way older than Moana. I have another question. How old is Kinder from Disney's Atlantis, The Lost Ark? Do you know what? I have never seen Atlantis. I've got it sat on a DVD over there in the pile. I picked up when it was on sale. Never seen it. It was one of those like late 90s movies that when I wasn't really into the Disney at that point. I was into Pixar, but the Disney movies weren't really inspiring when they were just in that last bit of the animation one. There's a whole era where basically I was a teenager and wasn't really into like the animated classics the same way. I think once I got a little, I was still into Disney, still went to the park, still loved all the Pixar and stuff like that, but yeah, just didn't really watch them then. Let's see what else we've got here. Hydra, get all the diamonds, all the magic cards, and the hot chili peppers. This was regards to me playing a little bit of Castle of Illusion. So yeah, you can kind of got to grab all those bits and pieces. The first time I played through, I just didn't really worry too much about that there. Amiibo Man Reviewer, he was talking about the news of the new Star Wars Battlefront coming next week. He said, I am really looking forward to the Death Star DLC, but I'm not a big fan of the character renders. They kind of look plastically, and I'm sure they will look great in the game, but the pictures do not look as nice as the original pics. Yeah, especially Bosk or Bosk, however which way you would pronounce that one there. He didn't look quite as good. He looked a little bit more, like you say, a bit plastic. Chewbacca was odd, but I'm sure when we see them in the game on Tuesday, it'll look a little bit better. So Random Corner asked, what happened to the comment section thing, which was regard to one of the stories I did earlier in the week. Like I said, this is it. This is your comment. This is where I'm going to do it. I decided that Sundays is a nice time for me just to do a little bit of community show. Kind of was a bit inspired by that with Philip DeFranco. He tends to do one of these every week. We're able to kind of do a catch up of all the comments and stuff. And I kind of thought, that's kind of cool. I quite like that. I like to have a little bit more community spirit with you. So I just thought I'd do that. Let's have a look here and see what else we had this week. Nevermind Reviews. No way. I used to love this game so much. That was regards to Lego Indiana Jones 2, which I did a video for, which was part of the Throwback Thursday. That's a cool. That's becoming one of my favorite videos to make. Is doing the throwback videos. These like retro gaming. It's something I've been really enjoying doing, and I recorded one for Haunted Mansion, and then I realized it didn't work quite right. So I've got a new cable for doing like the really old software. For some reason, odd games don't seem to work too well. So that will be an upcoming one as well. But yeah, Lego Indiana Jones. Really liked it. Kind of funny, sort of seeing like a 10-year-old Lego game of how much it's improved, like with Lego Dimensions and Force Awakens. But also now I'm really hoping it becomes either backwards compatible or they do like the remastered port versions like they've done with the new Harry Potter one. So I am looking forward to that. So let's give that one a proper go. And again, awesome man, awesome. So big thank you for him. Amiibo a Man reviewer also said, I'm not trying to collect all of them like I did with the Grid. So this is to do with some Marvel Zum Zums. Hoping to get some Splash Mountain ones. That would be really a dream. I'd like to happen, but I am considering the Spider-Bait one. Poolman96 was, this is regards to Pirates of the Caribbean and the Disney Magic Kingdoms. Man, I was hoping for more Peter Pan characters, but POTC works, especially since the originals are theme park based anyway too. This was a funny thing with Pirates sometimes, is they got added to the game and you can kind of see like a load of people like Captain Jack and stuff are theme park. Pirates of the Caribbean, the movies are based on the ride in Adventureland, so it makes perfect sense for them to be in there. And using those characters makes more sense than just using it. I did think Peter Pan was going to go in there, but Pirates of the Caribbean is great. But I'm not spending 450 gems on that on Captain Jack Sparrow. I'll get Will Turner and go for the other way. I'm not spending that many gems on buying it. It was like $7.99 for that and some gems. Like, way too much for a mobile game for me. You know, I'm sorry. It was a little bit of a thing for me. I do feel that I'm massively overpriced for that kind of thing, for that character. That definitely feels to me like you're taking the most popular character and charging that much for a game. But that's going to be a whole other subject, which we'll get into on Infinity and Beyond tomorrow. Right, I did a video on Overwatch, which was kind of a little bit of it was a free weekend last weekend where you got to play Overwatch. It was a shooting game. And I did a video because of basically all of the Toy Box artists have been playing there. So Disney fans said it was one of the best games he's played. And then Sonic Photo, Toy Box artist, said, hey, Nigel, you're doing pretty good sniping there with the Window Maker for your first time. And to be fair, that's one of the most difficult maps. I still fail on that one. The game's definitely also become good to collaborate as a team, like we used to collaborate to build toy boxes together in that way. And definitely became a good distraction to the unfortunate sad events that followed with Disney Infinity. And then also, from a pretty old video of a toy box I did, Josh kind of pointed out that I must have made a few slip-ups when I was talking about the Rhino guards that were from Robin Hood. And they also said it's not Prince John either. So I must have made some kind of slip-up. Pudding asked, is the game worth it for Marvel's Ultimate Alliance? And I said yes. And then Chloe jumped in saying you're doing some great videos on YouTube. So yeah, so there's all our YouTube comments. I'm just going to jump now over to Twitter and just see what we've got over there. See if we've got anything of any kind of cool over there. So Benny was responding to, these people are crazy, because I did the story about the Zika virus, maybe putting people off of going to Walt Disney World, which I'm going to be honest, I kind of get it. I understand why people are doing that. I know, like, you know, if you're trying to plan a family, or if you're planning on getting pregnant in the next year, or even if you are, you know, if you're at that age, and unfortunately a lot of the parents taking kids to the parks, or you know, young couples or married, you know, people on honeymoons and stuff, it is an issue, and it's easy. You know, there's a lot of people saying, "Oh, I don't get bit by mosquitoes," and it's a scam. But it's a reason that people might not go, and it might only be a small percentage of people, but it adds up. If you take away all the different things, it can add up if you do that this way. So I might do another video on that one there for later today. But yeah, the Zika virus is an issue. We've also we've done that one there. We've got this cool video, this cool little image here for Mr. Disney with we've got Sandy Claus Let Me Out of Here. So he's recreated that with some daubs. Some comments there about Xbox One. Oh, Jeffrey, that was a new book that he'd been writing. Dream It, Screw It. So he came back to us and said that he wrote about it being featured on the website. 1 Minute Disney Dreams. They only like the original Spider-Man Vinylmation that came out this week. Doesn't surprise me. Hector Manuel, friend, he was talking about it's National Video Games Week, so that was early in the week. He said that he he loved the Epic Mickey game, but Infinity will always be in my heart. Travis, he is heading to New York Comic Con to represent us. James Holland, he responded to Roald Day, saying that his favourite movie was James and the Giant Peach, and his mum brought it on the Rainbow cassette tape. And then Vagabond James from Infinity and Beyond, he said, "Gonna have to go with Matilda, though it's a hard choice to choose from one of this catalogue." And then Aaliyah said, "I just can't pick one." So there's plenty. Oh, and DUM Go 2008. All these days are making it hard to find games to put on my Christmas list, so there's an option to make it close to Personal 5. So this was with regards to Kingdom Hearts being delayed till January, which I gotta be honest, I was a bit bummed out on that too. I was planning on playing it in December. I think we're at the point where I think with Disney Infinity going down, especially Disney fans are looking for something to fill the gap, and I think there's a lot of us that want to play the Kingdom Hearts one. For me, it just gives me an extra month to try and I've got both editions of 1.5 and 2.5, and I had not played Kingdom Hearts up until this year. I am currently going through Kingdom Hearts, the first one, and I do think that it's a lot of fun, and I'm really playing it. But I've got like 5 Kingdom Hearts games. I've picked one up on my DS to play while I'm on holiday as well. But there we go. So like I said, that was a bit of a rundown through all your comments from the week. A bit of feedback from you guys. I really appreciate it. I just thought it'd be nice sometimes a bit of sit down with you on a Sunday and do all this. But as per usual, guys, remember to hit that subscribe button. Remember to check us out at DisKingdom.com. Hit that like button as well if you're on Facebook. And I shall see you guys in a later video. Laters.